Hi y'all, this is Charity from Frog Crochet, and I'm going to teach you how to do this poncho, which I call it the friendship poncho. But before we do that, I'm going to read our devotion, and it's called Much Forgiven, Much Love. A woman in the town who was a sinner found out that Jesus was reclining at the table in the Pharisee's house. She brought an alabaster jar of fragrant oil. Luke chapter 7, verse 37. Simon, a Pharisee, invited Jesus to eat at his home. While Jesus sat down at the table, a woman known to be a sinner entered, saying nothing. She wept and began washing his feet with her tears. Next, she used her hair to wipe his feet, kissed them, and anointed them. Simon the Pharisee remarked that if Jesus were a prophet, he would know the woman touching him was a sinner. Hearing Simon's comment, Jesus addressed him directly, saying, "Simon, I have something to tell you." Simon said, "Oh, tell me." Luke chapter 7, verse 40. Jesus then told Simon about the moneylender who had two clients. One owed him 500 pieces of silver and the other 50. Neither could repay him, so he forgave them and canceled both debts. Jesus asked Simon, which of the two would be more grateful? And that's from Luke chapter 7, verse 42. Simon answered, "I suppose the one who owed him the most money." Today, think about how much your Lord has forgiven you. Then tell him how much you love him for that. And our prayer today is, Lord, open my eyes and mind so that I may see and understand how much I owe you. And our prayer jar inspiration is, God has so graciously forgiven me. Okay. God has given me this pattern, and I just wanted to share it with y'all. And I fell in love with this stitch right here. Is called the turtle stitch right here. Now I used Caron cotton cake with this off-white right here to this pink variegated, and that's how the cake came. I think I got it on clearance or somebody gave it to me. Then I had this comfy cotton that I had gotten at Walmart when it went on clearance, this cream color, and this variegated purple is also comfy cotton. And I used it at the top for the collar. Now, this measures from the collar down to the bottom, 21.5 inches long. If you need it longer, you can. Because I'm short-armed, so 21.5 inches works for me. The collar from point to point is 11 inches across. And the bottom from point to point, flattened out, measured 50 inches across there. Now, alright, I am going to be using a H hook, 4-weight yarn. This that I'm going to be using right here is a Caron Caron Funfetti cake. I found it at Michael's on clearance for $5. It has 239 yards. This colorway is called Coral. I said I'm using an H hook. You will need stitch markers for this. And I've got my yarn needles, pair of scissors, and you can use a stitch counter if you need to. Where did that go? Drop the end of my yarn. Alright. Now, I've already got my slip knot made. Now this is done in multiples of 6 for this pattern. Now I started off with 132 chain. So if you have not done chain before, right, you just got your slip knot on your hook, you just grab your yarn, pull through. That's 1, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'm not going to sit here and do this whole 132 counting, so I will pause this and I will come back with you, join back up with you when I have 132 chain, and then I'll show you what we need to do next. Okay, I got my 132 stitches. Now we got to keep it straight and go to the end, as we need to slip stitch to that very first stitch. Make sure it don't twist on us, and there's our very first one. Now we're going to slip stitch. There's my yarn. That's my yarn. That's the tail. Put you over there, and we are going to put my hook through the stitch. We're going to slip stitch just like so, and then we are going to chain up 1, and then we are going to put 1 single crochet back into that stitch that we just slip stitched to, and then we are going to single crochet in the next stitch, and then we are going to single crochet in the next stitch, and we will continue doing that until we have 132 single crochets. I am going to put my stitch marker right there in the very first one, so I know where I started. Now you will just need to go along your chain and put a single crochet in every chain, and you will have 132 stitches. If you need this to be a little bit wider or bigger, whichever one you wanted to say, it is done. This pattern is done in multiples of 6. So just keep adding 6 chain to your count. If you need it bigger, if you need it smaller, then subtract it. So just subtract 6 stitches off at a time. Like I said, it's just done in multiples of 6. So just make sure your first starting out number is in multiples of 6. Now I started out with 132. Now just to start out and do my foundation and start of this. Now I will increase here in a little bit, but we will do row around 1 through 3. And then I will show you if you don't need this any bigger, if this is big enough for you and you can just go with that, is that be the width that you need. And then you can decrease the collar of it later after you get the length that you need. Because that's what I did. I did 3 rounds of decreasing, and I'll show you that, how to decrease later when we get the length that we need. But doing here is I'm just putting 1 single crochet in every chain. Alrighty. You got the gist of this, so let me pause this and I will work on finishing this all the way around till I get caught up to my first stitch here. When I get 132 stitches done, I will show you what we need to do next. Alrighty, I'll meet back up with you in just a sec. Okay, I've got my 132. Now I did go back and double check, make sure I had 132. What I did was I put a stitch marker in every 20th stitch and counted. Now I do have 132. Now I'm back here at the very first stitch. I'm going to take that out and show you what we need to do. Now we're not going to go through these 2 loops. We're just going to go through the back loop only. And we're going to slip stitch to that. And we're going to chain up 1. And we're going to single crochet in that stitch. We're going to put this stitch marker back in here in our first stitch, so where we know where we started. That stitch marker is my very beginning one. So now we are going to, this is the repeat, we're going to single crochet in the back loop only, then we skip 1, 2, and we double crochet in the 3rd stitch, but we're going to use the back loop. So we're going to yarn over, go through that back loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and pull through 2. That's 1 double. Now we got to put 5 total in here to make our shell. So we're going to do another. That's 2. 3. 4. And 5. And then we're gonna again skip 2 and then single crochet in the back loop only, like that. And that's our repeat, is single crochet, skip 2, and that, make sure you do that back loop, and then back loop only, we do 5 double crochet, which makes a shell. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we skip 2 and single crochet in the back loop only again. So, and then we skip 2 and we do our shell again. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip those 2, and here we're going to single crochet, and since we've already done our count, we can go ahead and remove that for now. Put that over there, and we're going to skip 2 and shell. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip 2, single crochet. Alright, I am going to continue this row like this, and that's what your work should look like right there. And I'll meet back up with you at this end. Alrighty? Okay, I have done all my shells and single crochets. If you all have done 132 stitches like me, you should have 22 shells and 22 singles. And we are back here. You should have 2 left, so we're going to skip those. Take our stitch marker out, and we are going to again slip stitch in the back loop only, and then we are going to chain up 3 this time, and that counts as a double crochet, and then we will do 2 more double crochets, and this will count as half a shell. We will finish this shell when we get back around here, but till then you need to put your stitch marker in that 3rd chain, which is that top one there, And then we are going to, again, we're in that single crochet, we're in that back loop. Now this is your shell, and you're going to skip 2 and single crochet in that middle or third double crochet, but back loop only. So we're staying in that back loop on this round. So we're going to single crochet there. So see how we got it? This is half of a shell, and then our single. Now, let's pull out. All right. Oops, got that looped around my finger too many times. All right. Now, and again, we're going to skip these 2 and go down here to the single crochet, and we're going to do 5 double crochets in that back loop, using the back loop still. That's 3, 4, 5, skip these 2 into that's number 3. That should be your middle stitch here in your shell, and we will single in the back loop, and then we're going to skip these 2, go straight to this single, and we're going to do a shell in that back loop of that single. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, and this is, separate that out. That's what the tail, move that out of the way. That's what your work should start looking like right there. Alright, now I will continue this repeat, which is you skip 2, this third one, which is your middle of your shell, the top one, and back loop only, we're gonna single. Alright, repeat that all the way around, and I'll meet back up with you when I do my single here and show you what to do here. Alright? Okay, I've gotten to our single crochet that we needed right here, and we need to finish this shell. So we're going to put 2 more double crochets in that back loop, like so. And then we're going to remove the stitch marker and slip stitch in both loops, because we're going to be working in both loops now. On the top of this chain, and then we're going to chain up 1, and we're going to put single crochet in that same stitch, and we're going to put a single crochet in the next stitch, and we're going to put our stitch marker back in that first stitch of this row. Okay, now everybody will have to increase. I got to thinking about it. If you don't increase from here on out until we stopped increasing, it won't flare out. It'll be just like a little tube. So we do need to increase on this round. Everybody needs to increase, but this is how we're going to do it. We need to count these singles in here and put a stitch marker on the 6th one, counting between these arches here, or these shells. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we need to put stitch marker right here, and this is why you will need several stitch markers. Okay, so that's 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we'll put 1 right there. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 right here. Now, reason why I'm putting a special one right here is because we only have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 left. We will do something a little different in this section. But for right now, our increase will be in between here. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain of 4. Okay, we're going to start back here at the very beginning. That's our beginning stitch marker. We've done 2 single crochets. Now we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then since we stitched here, we're going to skip 1, 2, and 3 and single crochet in that stitch and the next 2. So you will have 3 single crochets in a row, and it'll be those middle 3 of your shell. Then we will chain of 4, 2, 3, and 4, and again skip 3 and single in the next 3. Okay, and so we've increased 1, 2, and we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, skip 3, single in the next 3. Maybe that's a little better. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. Alright, so we've done 1, 2, 3 increases, and we're going to chain 4, skip 3, 3 singles. Alright. Now we're going to do that how many times? Let's see, that was 6, 12, 18. Alright, we're going to do that 18 times, total of 18, and that's counting all the way up here. I will meet you after you've done 18 increases right here. So I will meet you back where the specialty stitch marker is. And you should have 1, 2, 3, 4 single crochets left to do or work over, because we're skipping over those. But you should have 4 of those left when I meet back up with you to show you what we need to do here. Alrighty? Okay. I made it to where this stitch marker is. I went ahead and I done the 4 across here, and then these 3. I've done these 4 and these 3. There's the stitch marker. Okay. So now, what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and do the chain of 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's going to be our increase there. We still skip 1, 2, 3. We're going to single crochet in this first one. And in the middle one here, we're going to put 2 single crochets in that same stitch. And then we're going to single in this one. So that makes 2 increases we did. Then we're going to chain of 4. Skip these 3, and we're just going to do 3 single crochets here. 2 and 3. So that'll make 1, 2, and 3 increases there. And this will be 4 increase. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we'll skip 3 and we'll do that extra increase here again. So we're going to do a single crochet in this one and 2 single in the top of this one, and then 1 single again, and then we will finish out this and do our chain of 4. We're skipping these 3, and we have 1 more single right here we got to do to finish off our 3 up here. So that will complete our slip. We will slip stitch into that first stitch. Chain of 1, and we'll go ahead and put a single crochet right there and put our stitch marker in right there. And now, if you look back, we had done 1 increase from here to this stitch marker, so that'll give us 1 extra shell there. Then we go down to this next one and we increased 6 more times, so that'll give us another shell. And then all the way to our special stitch marker, we did another 6 increase. Now, because we only had 4 arches here, or 4 spaces in between the arches, we had to increase in 2 of these to make that 6. So we'll have 4 extra shells this round, or after the next round. So that's how we're increasing, is we're putting extra stitches in here, and then when we don't have enough space we kind of add a little extra in here so we don't have our chains too big and you have like a really big gaping hole. That's why I did the increases on the top here, and it will blend in. Trust me, you won't even notice that. It'll just go with the rest of it. Now, this is how we are increasing on this. That's why I said you need these stitch markers. But for this next round, we don't need the stitch markers, so you can go ahead and take those out. The only one you will need is the one marking your first stitch in the row, or at the very beginning of the round. Now, I left this one here. That's just marking because I went ahead and sewed in the end my tail, and that just tells me where my start is for when we decrease to make the collar a little bit smaller. That's the only reason why I got that there. If you want to do that, you can, as whenever you want to take pause and sew your tail in, and just take a stitch marker and mark where you started at. As we will go back later, once we get the lengths we need, we will go back and decrease the top of it to where it won't fall off your shoulder. Okay? Alright. Let me see. Sorry about that. About knocked my camera over. You are not wanting to stay where you're supposed to. Alright. Now, for this next round, we are simply just going to put one single crochet in every stitch around. So now when you come to the chain space where each one should be 4, you can either, which I do it, I go into the stitch and I put a single crochet in each chain. Now you can go around it and make a single crochet if you want. It's however you want to do it, as long as you keep with 4 singles and however many you have here. Now keep track of your ones down closer to the other end. You will have 2 of these that has 4 stitches up here. So just make sure when you get done with this round, because this last round we had 156 stitches, make sure that you complete with 156 stitches on this round. And we're just going to put a single crochet in every stitch, every single crochet and into every chain, or you can go around the chain and just do a single crochet, but make sure you do 4 on the chains, and make sure that you have 156 stitches. Alrighty, and I will see you back. I will finish doing my single crochets in every stitch around, and I'll meet back up with you to show you what you need to do for next round. Okay, now I've gotten my 156. We're at the beginning stitch and we're going to be working in the back loops again. So we're basically going to repeat rows 2 and 3 again. So we are going to do slip stitch in the back loop only, chain up 1, single crochet back into that stitch, put our stitch marker back in there so we know where the beginning stitch is. And we're going to repeat the skip 2, and the third one we do the back loop only, and we're going to do our shell, which is the 5 double crochets that's 4 and 5. So 1, 2, yep. That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip 2 and single crochet in there. Skip 2, third, doing the back loop only. 5 double crochets. Alright, that's our repeat, is using the back loop only. We do a single, skip 2, do our shell, which is 5 double crochet, skip 2 stitches, and then single crochet, back loop only. Make sure that you do them in the back loops. Now on this, you probably, yeah, you can see a little bit of the ridge in there. I know that it's hard to see with this type of yarn. It's a little bulky. But anyway, that will be our repeat for this row all the way around, and I'll meet you back here. Okay. Got my last shell done, and we are back at stitch number 1 of that round. Take the stitch marker out, and we are going to slip stitch in that back loop, and then we are going to chain of 3 and then do 2 double crochets in that stitch, and then again skip 2 and single in the top, which is your middle stitch of your shell. And we'll go back over here, get our stitch marker so I don't drop it, and put our stitch marker in that top chain of the 3, that third chain, which counts as a double crochet. So you'll have 3, you'll have part of a shell done, and then again we repeat. We skip 2 and into that single, the back loop, we are going to put 5 double crochet, and we will repeat this all the way around. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and number 5. And again, skip 2, single in that stitch. Alright, and this is how your work should be looking right there. I will meet back up with you here and show you again how we are going to increase, because this round will be different again for the increase. So I'll meet back up with you here, and then I'll show you how to do the increase. again. Okay, we left off here. We have our single crochet, and we just got to put 2 more doubles here and join. So 1 and 2, and there's our first stitch. And we're just going to slip stitch to the top of that chain 3, and there we go. That's the end of round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Alright, now we're going to start round 8, but first I'm going to chain up 1 single crochet right back in that spot, and single crochet in the next, and then we've got to count our stitches in between these shells, as we got to put our stitch markers in those spots. But first let me mark my number 1 spot, our starting spot, so because we're going to be increasing again. So I'm going to open up this and get my stitch markers. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Well, don't drop your stitch markers like I did. Alright, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Grab another. And we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we only have 2 here. So we will be doing like we did before, is increase in here 4 times throughout this, and I'll show you where, because we got to make this 6, because we increase in between, so we got to make up for the fact that we only have 2 left here, so we got to increase on some of these. So we'll show you how that's where we're going to be increasing. Alright, so when we increase, it's actually because you only have 3 stitches here, we're increasing by putting 4, chain of 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and so you skip 3, and then we do the 3 singles. And 2, and 3, and then we will chain of 4, 3 and 4, and skip 3, single in the top of 3, okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4 chain, yarn got tangled here. Alright, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We skip 1, 2, 3. Now this one we're going to increase on the top here, so we're going to do 1 single, 2 singles in the top one, and 1 single after that. And that's one of our 4 increases that we need to do for this end. So, okay, we've done 1 increase for there. We keep doing our increases here, but we've done one of the 4 extras we need to do. So, let's see, we need to chain of 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, skip 3, and then just go back to the 3 singles, 1, 2, and 3, chain of 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and skip 3 and do 3 singles. And 2 and 3. Alright, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now you can leave those in or you could take them out as you go. The only reason why we mark these is just so we know where the sixth increase is, because our stitches are multiples of 6, and with these rounds we're increasing in here, but because we only had 2 here, we're having to increase other places. That's how I'm keeping track of where I need to increase at. So now we're going to skip these 3 and single in the top 3. Excuse me, sorry. Had a frog in my throat. At 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to skip 3. And we're going to single. And these 3. Okay. Now, they're gonna, yeah, I got my 3. Alright. We're gonna chain 4, 2, 3, and 4. And in this one, we're gonna do, skip the 3. We're gonna do our second extra increase. So we're gonna single here and 2 singles in the top of this one. And 2, and then we're going to put 1 here. So we've done 2 of our extra increases of the 4. So we've got chain up 4 now. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Skip the 3. And do the just your regular single, 3 singles and 3 stitches on top. And then we're gonna chain of 4, 3, 4, and we're gonna skip the 3, 3 singles, 2, and 3, and I need more yarn. Thing is not wanting to give me the yarn. Alright. And then we got 1, 2, 3, and 4 chain, and then skip the 3, and 1, 2, and 3 singles. No, Miss Benny, I can't hold you right now. Alright, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I split my yarn there. Alright, 3 and 4. And we're going to skip 1, 2, 3. And we're going to do the singles again. We'll do 1, 2, and 3. We're going to chain up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've been finding a lot of this in this yarn. Alright, so I guess what I get for getting clearance yarn. Alright, 1, 2, 3. We skip and single in the top of these 3. What are you doing? No, you cannot get up in my lap. One, 2, 3, 4 is a chain, and where am I at? Cat's distracted me. Alright, skip these 3, and this is where we're going to do another increase right here. Is we're going to single here, and we're going to single in the next, or we're going to do 2 singles in this one, and 1 more single, and that makes our 3rd increase. That we're going to chain of 4, right, and 4, 1, 2, 3, and then do our 3 singles. Sorry about the crinkling noise. I had a project bag underneath me and my cat is trying to get in my lap while I'm doing this. Alright, chain of 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we have 3 single, or skip these 3 and then do our 3 singles. 1, 2, and whoops, split my yarn again. Alright, 3. Today is just not my day. Alright, now we're going to chain of 4, 2, 3, and 4, skip 3, and single in the top, 3. Alright, and I think we finally hit our last. No, we haven't. Alright, we still got some to go. Alright, we're going to chain up 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, skip these 3, and single in the top 3, and we're gonna chain of 4, 3, and 4, and skip these 3, single, there's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now we're going to chain up 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to skip 3, and this will be our last extra increase right here. We're going to single in this one, and 2 singles in this one, and 1 single in the next, and then chain of 4. And then the rest of this should be just the rest of the repeat should be, alright, the rest of the repeat to the end is going to be chain 4, skip 3, and single in the next 3, chain 4, skip 3, and then your single 3 in the top. We'll meet you back at the other end to finish off this round, and meet you in just a few. Okay, I have done my 3 singles, chained 4, and all we got left is this single right here and join. So we're going to single crochet in this one and slip stitch to this first stitch, chain up 1, and this is going to start round 9. So we're going to single crochet right back into that stitch, and I'm going to put another single crochet in the next one. Then I'll put my stitch marker back so I know where we started. If I can get it in there. This yarn is a little difficult. I chose quite the tough yarn to be working with. Alright, it's soft, but it is not easy to work with. It splits easy. Alright, now, so what we're going to do on this round is just put a single crochet in every round all the way here, and that will be the end of part 1 of the Friendship Poncho. I will try to work on the rest of this another time, and with the holidays, hopefully it will not be as long, so to get the second one done, but I will be working on it. And poor Miss Kitty has got to do quite the editing for this one, so bear with both of us because she's doing schoolwork and we have the holidays coming up. So without further ado, I will see y'all next time, and we will see you for part 2 of this Friendship Poncho. Alright, bye y'all.